Gank.
I wouldn't mind this. Rooster, in terms of laning, already ahead of BrokenBlade, dashes away with a Shuriken Flick, gets hit by the wallop, goes back in, Ignite down, but BrokenBlade flashes out of range, and with the Fear Tether going off, SkewMond should be able to get a pretty easy kill on Rooster.
This idea and this sentiment that BrokenBlade has been struggling. Now Hanson could be struggling.
Focus Resolve going down. It's just going to get the root. Doesn't have the mana for anything, and without barrier, because he's running TP, just gets taken down in the 2v1. The Fear going to come out as well. Flash out from Nuke as he looks to get away. Put into the egg now. Boukada's going to leave him. Those eggs are pretty rotten as G2 will find a kill beneath his tower. Does still have the flash, no heal to help him out here. The Mandrid Focus Resolve as Labrov tanks a tower shot, flashes away very late. And underneath the tower, SkewMond just dies. Boukada's on his way across. No flash, no Vault Breaker. Labrov looking for the mood speed from the ebb and flow. We'll get it with a Tidecaller's Blessing too. Vault Breaker out again as they look for Labrov under the tower. They'll take him. Boukada trades his life for it though. Realm War behind here as 4 members of G2 begin to collapse on Paduck kill. Arcane Shift out of the Fear, nicely done, but he's delaying the inevitable you have to feel. Paranoia out from SkewMond just to make sure they secure the kill. G2 get their 4th, SkewMond gets his 2nd, and with it a 700 gold lead. Trymbi looking to see if Caps oversteps. Yeah. Inner Flame coming out. Flash Frost as well for the stun. There's the wall. Does Caps have a way to sneak by it? The answer is a resounding no, as Caps falls to the Glacial Storm and Nuke gets on the board. SkewMond the next target.
Just because there is that small window where you get that spike, but I'll have to shut up as the jungler is looking for a gank on a BrokenBlade.
Got it in, cease and desist there for the follow-up. Perfect execution coming out from Rooster. BB goes mega. The wallop goes wide though, and without that CC, there's no escape for the Gnar. BrokenBlade dies, and while it's happening, G2 will take the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, nice gank from Shifters, and then a nice cross map coming through from G2. Overall, a fairly even trade, but funneling a little bit more gold into Rooster is very much what Shifters
makes a lot of sense. Vault Breaker onto BrokenBlade just as he goes mini Betty. Cease and desist there for the follow-up, and the jump isn't going to get him out of Ignite as he ticks down. Rifthold is now the new target, and Shifters have a man advantage, although they have used 2 big ultimates to find that kill. Shroud of Darkness came out from SkewMond, but he's on the wrong side of the wall. Nuke's walls have actually been really solid this game as Boukada comes in to help secure the kill. Caps looking for the damage. Tidal Wave out from Labrov. This feels greedy. BrokenBlade's down here as well. As perhaps they were thinking they could catch out Nuke in time with an Aqua Prism into some spell flux, but no flux given by Shifters. Didn't give them the opportunity to find the kill. They'll still take the tower though as G2 crack open the first turret of the game.
So BrokenBlade now hesitant to try and match in the top side given the strength of Rooster in the side lane.
It's not their laning phase that they have struggled with too much. It is the mid-game decision-making as we see Trymbi getting caught out by Hans Summer and Labrov, and Trimby's decision to be there was not ideal. The Season Desist is available. Rooster looking for the chase. Gunblade for the slow. They dive onto BrokenBlade once again, and BrokenBlade dies once again. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately, for BB, as he has died for the 3rd time this game. They give it up. It is sole point for G2, and that dragon's going down very quickly. Caps caught out, though. Season Desist there for the follow-up. Caps there, shield not going to be enough to save him. The stopwatch coming out from Rooster as he is speared up by SkewMond, but he manages to dash out with a perfect execution. SkewMond goes down. Paduck beginning to pop off on this Ezreal as G2 are forced away, and the smite comes out from Shifters. Next up a Baron, the pings are on it very tight.
Oh, well, speaking of versatile, Boukada coming in from over the wall.
Cease and desist onto Hans Summer. The rest of the team not really there as Caps begins to open up. The dive onto the backline from SkewMond's going to take out Trymbi, and now Boukada is put into the Guardian Angel. True Shot barrage out, Nuke flashing away from BrokenBlade. Rooster now going to join the fray, immediately stunned. There's the Aqua Prism. If only he had a rocket bounce, he could have dodged it. Realm Warp in for the chase as Shifters overstep in the mid lane, and G2 punish them. G2 will find 3 off the play, and just like that, the fortunes turn in their favor.
You can't just assume that it's a free win once you've got a lead, right? They've got smart players that are very aware. But I see, SkewMond.
Boukada looking for the Season Desist onto Hans Summer. Paranoia means that he's out of range, and with a Tidal Wave there for the follow-up, the damage is not going to be enough. SkewMond traded back as Rooster dives the backline, but now he's on the wrong side of 4 members of G2. A stopwatch. Man, he wishes he could stop, rewind, and take that play back as he goes down. And with the chase coming out from Shifters, this is the enemy jungler. They'll catch him in the GA. Caps is still pushing mid, does have the Realm Warp, but they're not going to join their good friend Skew, who's skewered by Rooster. and picks up his 5th kill of the game. G2, though, will punish the fact that Shifters sent a lot of players up towards the top side by taking down the tier 2 in mid. But not one of those complicated ones. It was like a kindergarten book. SkewMond sat in the mid lane, and all that happened immediately was an easy kill for G2. I couldn't think of a quick rhyme there, Betty. SkewMond sat in the mid lane. Shifters took them.
Shifters experience a ton of pain.
Nice, good one, Betty. That's why you're the poet. I'm not. That's why you write the rap battles.
You can stop now. You can stop digging the shovel. It's all good. I'll take over from here.
Digging the shovel? That's a mistake.
Another inhibitor is going to fall. I think G2's looking to end the game right now. They have the numbers advantage. 3 inhibitors down. They just need a couple more waves with the Baron. They should be looking to close this one out. Yeah,
it should be pretty easy from here. Hansama just stepping up with those Sheen procs from the Triforce. Shifter's going to try and defend, but they don't have a huge amount of engage when that jungler is dead. It's all kind of on the buy as Rooster goes in, does dive onto Labrov. A minion eats the shuriken and Labrov will survive through it. Meanwhile, towards the top side, Caps has a sound. Labrov takes the kill. The Nexus towers fall and Shifters once again experience a mid-game collapse. It is synonymous with them these days as Shifters try to defend. SkewMond has a GA, BrokenBlade has enough health to take down the Nexus. G2 clean it out. A clean 13-13, 38-minute game. Oh, maybe a collapse coming in from Shifters towards this crab as you were talking about it.
But Nuke gets a roam first.
Yeah, Nuke is coming across. Trymbi chunked down. Caps looking for the flank position. Boukada going in with a shield bolt. Trymbi flashing forward as well. The seismic shove doesn't connect, and now SkewMond can turn it around. Caps flash to miss the 2-fold hex on Trymbi, but SkewMond doesn't miss that decimating smash. Shifters forced to wait. And first blood over to G2. Gold lead for G2. Most of that sitting on SkewMond as Boukada is going towards the mid lane. Has the flash. Going to shield bolt in with the flash. Knock Caps back. And that's the combination that you talked about, Betty. Tried and true. Works every time. Labrov falling low here as Paduck is polymorph near the end of the damage coming out from Hansama. And because of that, he is forced away as Bloom. Labrov's going to run across level 6 already. Boukada is also level 6. Grand Starfall always an option. SkewMond looking at Nuke in the mid lane here, who flashes away, but the flash chase with the Cyclone. Tempestuous afternoon for Nuke as he dies for the first time this game.
I think we're going to get... Oh, actually, we're going to get action top.
All out. Pull across the wall here into the Tribush. Rooster flashes over BB, and with the Grand Starfall coming in, SkewMond here to protect. Boukada flashes in with a shield bolt. The spear's not going to be enough damage. Aegis Assault out as Trymbi is spotted on a control ward. Cyclone back in. Pop Blossom. SkewMond still takes the kill. Nuke trying to get up with the Weaver's Wall, but he's isolated by Caps and Labrov. A double for Skew, and once again, a skirmish around the river goes absolutely pear-shaped for Shifters.
They do still have ways to find picks against G2 as the game continues. A minute and 9 seconds until the next dragon spawns, and this will be an opportunity for Shifters to gain another advantage on the map.
And the question is, can they actually find it? Because in comes SkewMond again with the Cyclone, and Nuke... Well, that weather report is looking kind of grim. Good shield bolt for the stun immediately. Caps flashes for the 2-fold hex. That's the second time he's done that this game, and both times he's missed. However, Boukada doesn't have the luxury of walking out like his bot lane did, and that Baker is going to get fried.
So this was just a good response from G2. They see that Shifters is winning these bot lane 2v2 trades, so Boukada's now threatening a dive, but G2 counter by having SkewMond deviate from his normal path towards bottom lane, and you'll see it here. So he's securing his red buff, he paths back towards bot, the TP coming in, Shifters now find themselves at a numbers disadvantage. There's little that they can do other than run away. Caps tries to find a pick, gets rooted up, but it doesn't matter because Boukada's isolated with no flash of his own, meaning that SkewMond finds himself another kill and a dragon to boot.
Sometimes the mechanics of Rift Herald can be slightly confusing as Grand Starfall comes out from Boukada, Pathmaker out from BrokenBlade, but he is going to die! Shutdown goes over to the Spartan.
So good job from Shifters, finding a punish onto BrokenBlade, who's just overextended in the bottom lane. G2 have used all of their tempo to make these top plays happen, where they've secured that mid tower, secured the top tower.
Trymbi in with the Pop Blossom. Between worlds goes Caps. Doesn't really... Oh, Caps is back in! Do they know the weirding out as Trymbi takes a chunk? Caps goes in with the rocket belt, and man, he went between worlds and then he went into the afterlife. That was not what Caps wanted to do there at all.
Now, BrokenBlade is going to try and interrupt the backs.
Seismic Shove's going to knock back that Kasante. No real collapse coming in from the rest of G2. BrokenBlade just went in here on his lonesome. Well, BB, anything Caps can do, you can do better, it seems, as he just ints as well. Okay, dudes.
Okay, so G2 doing the reverse shifters.
It's true, man.
They have just given 2 kills over thanks to mechanical misplays. Shifters is going to get this top tower. This is going to be like a 1k gold swing over to Shifters. A much needed relief fund passed over by G2. As Shifters will now be able to push all the way towards the tier 2. I think this is a little greedy to go for this.
Yeah, I think he needs to stop after this point, especially when you're spotted by the Squires. Boom. Wave cleared out by the weird enough to make it into playoffs.
They absolutely do, yeah. It's a tight race with so many teams needing to get those wins. We've already got 1 team locked for playoffs, but let's see what happens here. Pantheon ultimate, I can see him in the position. He's throwing it top.
Starfall out as they look for Caps. Between worlds he goes. Are you going back this time, Caps? He's going back because there's a TP behind. This time, a slightly better decision. Boukada's going to flash, then jump onto Labrov, who has to use the wild growth. Weaver's wall coming out. They'll dive on a Hans Summer, who jumps across the wall. Seismic Shove doesn't connect. And here comes the gold. SkewMond finally joining the fray. Boukada falls. SkewMond still looking for that second Cyclone. Nimbus strike forward. BrokenBlade on the backline is taken out, but Paduck falls for it. Shifters have got 1 out of the fight, but can't really get much more.
It's a very heavy commitment from G2.
Well, that's the clone. And Boukada is at 3rd HP. SkewMond on the wrong side of the wall. Cyclone is going to come now. Seismic Shove gets him back, and they take him out of the fight, Betty. Labrov, the next target, slowed up by Nuke. He's going to use that Hellfix shield to try and survive. Seismic Shove has to be flashed away from. Who is by himself right now, still has the flash, will hold on to it. Pathmaker flashes the wall. The chase continues for Shifters. BrokenBlade dashes to a colleague. Slowed up though, it's enough. Grand Starfall coming out. Wild growth from Labrov to try and survive into the Mikhails to dodge a shield bolt stun, but with a killer instinct, Paduck and Boukada clean it up.
Shifters were in an awkward spot to start off that fight, but once G2 had split apart enough, they realized, hey, we can actually find a good couple of picks here. They'll convert this into the bot lane tower. G2 put themselves on sole point. But the biggest thing is this gold gap has largely closed.
Yeah.
The advantage that SkewMond had is now being generated by Rooster. The mid lane gap and the bot lane gap is non-existent.
It's really hard for Nuke to join the fight unless he gets around the corner. Caps is trying to gate him off. Now he's there. Weaver's wall could separate Labrov and Caps straight down to 4,000. There's the Weaver's wall. Labrov gets knocked back by it. Pop Blossom trying to get off the back line, but Rooster's just dead as SkewMond and BrokenBlade dive in, and that's all the damage just gone. BB finds a double. The Drake's going to be secured by G2 and Betty. It was 90 seconds, and the faithful have not been rewarded.
So it's a very good spot for
Going
G2.
Caps now?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep. I got 420 gold though, and it's the 20th of April, Betty.
That's true.
Caps is blazing it, man. Like, what a beast.
I mean, he's been quiet this game, but hey, he gets himself a solo kill in top lane, and with the death timers at 48 seconds, G2 off that pick may very well be able to close things out.
That's, man, those are just the moments where you're like, they go for Caps, Seismic Shove back, he's going to die here. Nice stuff all around from Shifters to get the shutdown, but they're losing an inhibitor for it. The mid wave as well is getting pushed up by BrokenBlade, so they're likely to lose a tier 2 at least. Are Shifters
gambling that G2 can't end the game?
I think they just want a tier 2 on Nuke. I think they just want a little bit more gold. I don't think G2 can end off a singular push, but they can definitely take 2 inhibitor towers and 2 inhibs. SkewMond does have Flash and Cyclone.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably just going to take this inhibitor and then...
back away?
Yeah, just back away. Wait for Caps to respawn. Play for top
Nuke
tower.
could TP behind. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the tower is down.
BrokenBlade acting as bodyguard, trying to protect the team.
And he's continuing to act as a bodyguard. However, getting quite beaten up as he flashes away with a wild growth on him. Killer instinct in from Paduck. He'll take the kill. The Acanthian rain enough. Trymbi going for Labrov as well, who doesn't have the wild growth. And Paduck gets a double. Cyclone coming out, and it's all onto Nuke. But SkewMond's the only one left alive on this top side, and he might not be for much longer. He's going to get hit with a Void Seeker. The Blast Cone will be in his favor. Picks up some Cinders for the move speed, and now has to use the decoy into a Nimbus strike into Blast Cones again. Oh, the Gromp is standing on the Blast Cone! SkewMond! You were the king of the jungle, and the Gromp took away your throne! We've lost their first inhib tower of the game. Poke continuing to land. Trymbi looking for a flank position here. Has a blast going for the Pop Blossom. SkewMond on the Drake. It's down to 8k. Labrov almost down, uses the redemption. Nuke goes in with the Weaver's Wall. SkewMond down to half HP. Trymbi still looking for that Pop Blossom. Hansama trying to step up. Caps goes in between worlds. Paduck almost falls. Trymbi there. Pop Blossom. Killer Instinct in from Paduck. The Elder Drake secured by G2. SkewMond wins the smite fight. BrokenBlade dashes across the wall, but G2 with the Elder on their shoulders will clean up the fight. Double GAs will just raise the dead and the zombies are sent back. G2 clean up the fight and Shifters once again lose it.
A 5-0 ace off the back of SkewMond securing that smite. It got a lot closer than it needed to be. Shifters found a final fight to give them a bit more hope, but that hope was snuffed out as G2 looks to 2-0 this best of 3.
And G2 are going to go 3-2 in the LEC here in spring. It has been a tumultuous road so far, and there are still many steps to climb on the staircase to playoffs, but